Like, I was kind of tripping out, and white hat people are supposed to save souls. Black hat people are supposed to destroy so 2/3 should be saved, 1/3 should be destroyed. And we talked about the borderline people, you know, and need to be sorted out, I guess. So like a red is like what do you call it? A red hat person is like a I don't know, like I don't know. It reminds me of emergency. Like blue is kind of like they do both. They do justice. They're kind of like the Jews. Well, I don't know. I figured it out. But like the police and Jews are like blue, and like law and order or some shit like that. So I end up carrying this around. I ended up with it. So it's black. So what does that mean? So like courage can be like redeem yourself with courage, and like I got I might have had. You can talk about you can talk about doctoring. You know, Jesus said, take the plank out of your own eye before you take the speck out of your neighbor's, and you know he said you know that's not just about hypocrisy. It's about becoming a doctor, and you become qualified. So I've had blemishes, and I've like ripped off like, I don't know, little tiny let's call them what do you call it? What do you call it? You know, little tiny bits of flesh might be hanging out. My sister Brenda like covered with these little nasty things. I got a spot. The question is this vile? That's a good question. You know, nasty warts and stuff can be vile. If you're a certified self-doctor, I don't know what that means. I wonder if like a doctor, like if he fixes you, like he's like you're part of his responsibility or something, or like if you can doctor documents, you can doctor lots of things, and the question is it invalid? Is it a valid doctor? You know, and like anyway, I got this spot. You know what? It looks pretty vile. So like but watch this. What if I use my black lighter? Hold on a second. What if I use my black lighter and I burn it off? Watch this. Look at that. There. No, it doesn't look quite so vile. You know, I stuck a cigarette into it one time. The question is, you know, is it actually vile? That's a good question. The Jews are very particular about spots and stuff. If it has white hair, if it has, the Jewish priests were supposed to inspect it to see if it had white hair or whatever. You know, I sort of ruined it when I put the cigarette on it. Look at that. Anyway, so like, now it doesn't look quite so vile, right? So I'm a certified self-doctor, maybe. It takes courage. Oh, like, wait a minute. If you're black, if you're this kind of doctor, maybe that means you do it with like a lighter. I don't know. What? I don't know. Just making shit up, right? But like, it takes courage to like fry them underfoot. Anyway, I didn't do a very good job. Got stubble, but it's a little better. So anyway, I could burn it some more. But so like I was burning. I doctored my bag here. Oh, look at this. Watch this. You see that? I doctored it. So looking sharp's important. So maybe I'm only supposed to use. So like if you can start a fire. Like God said porn can be a midwife. And the question, sometimes you need a spark, you know. And what are these? Oh, I got two things here. Then like I got this weird thing, right? When I open this, it looks like a wound, like in some cases. So like, it looks like a wound, you know what I mean? Now you can display that, like you can signal these things can display a wound. I got my Bible in there, so like I can fix it with that. And like this town's like the soul of this town is kind of like not really Bible. I don't know what that means, but I got my Bible in a concealment. Anyway, and I can break out the Word of God, and like you're not supposed to let it depart your mouth. I don't know if you can read this on my. So I'm not supposed to let it depart my mouth. Apparently it makes a difference. Otherwise you get emasculated. I hate when that happens. So, but I can get God to talk. Like let's be Jewish, man. You know, this anal retentive stuff makes sense when you look at it like a machine, like you're doing machine language and ring 0, ring 3. You got privilege levels and all this shit's a big machine, you know. And you're like suddenly, and like obeying the law and like crosswalks, you know. Like what if that's like a flip-flop and it's the big old machine, you know. So if you're law and order, you better obey the law. If you're wearing blue, maybe you're like obeying the law, you know what I mean. If you're wearing blue, you're obeying the law. And anyway, maybe that's what that means. Yeah, if I obey the law, I'm not supposed to let the word of the Lord depart my mouth. But like I got like God on, like the people in my fold get to hear God and stuff. But so like, let's see what we got here. You know, if you're in the military, you pretty much have to kill, because you've been collecting pay to kill, and I don't know. I think you're doing robbery or something. If on the other hand, you've been risking your life. If you've had a free load, man, if you did it like to get a free load, you're kind of in trouble, man. You gotta have earned your pay. So that's through like bravery, or killing, or some aspect. Because be careful in the military. You have to ask yourself, did I earn my pay? You know, did I earn my pay? Was I tormented enough? Did I, you know? Yeah, you did your preparation, but like, you know, fundamentally, there's something. You know, Adam and Eve story says Adam must toil and Eve must do childbirth, and there's a direct correlation between manual labor and having kids. I don't know, it's crazy. It's beyond causality, okay? Like when we invented when you invented automated farming, birth control came into being, you know? So there's a direct correlation between, anyway, so like the question is, so like if you wanted to fix the birth rate, it's very simple. You got to get people doing manual labor. There's no other option. And so like these Mexicans, God said immigration is over. It's like, yeah, let's have all these slaves to do our manual labor. No, that's not a good idea, you know. So, you know, this place has a lot of white manual labor. They got forestry and stuff, you know. Anyway, so what? So. And sometimes sometimes one thing, certain things buy you certain things. I think there's a certain manliness to the military. I don't know what it buys you. Like killing to make room for your babies is heterosexual. Competing and putting down the other bull is like heterosexual. And so like if you're not doing enough of that, maybe you're not quite heterosexual, you know. So like. Anyway,